Welcome to Education, Leadership, and Beyond, Surviving and Thriving. My name is Andrew Mabrata, host of the show, and thank you so much for tuning in. A lot of live viewers right here. Proud member of the Education Podcast Network, Voice Ed Radio Canada, wherever you're taking in your podcast. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate it. Leave us a positive comment and a positive review. Speaking of positive, one of the most positive people I know, I've met, high energy and doing great things for kids, way down in Ballard County, Kentucky. Principal Amber Parker. She's the middle school principal there. She was the basketball coach. She is a mom of 4. And not only is she a mom of 4, she's a mom of quadruplets. So God bless you there, Amber. We're going to meet her in a moment. First, a quick word from our sponsor. If you've been with me, you know that IXL sponsors the show. It's a great program for kids, differentiation, direct instruction, and here we go. Hey friends, Andrew Mabrata here, Surviving and Thriving. And I want to thank today's sponsor for the podcast, IXL. Discover the power of data-driven instruction in your school with IXL. It is the most widely used online learning and teaching platform K through 12. It gives you everything you need to maximize learning, from a comprehensive curriculum to meaningful school-wide data. And IXL's diagnostic is research proven to be a strong predictor of performance on standardized assessments, including NWEA, MAPS, STAR, iLearn, just to name a few. And the best part, everything I just mentioned is all integrated into one platform, so you can simplify your ed tech tools. Visit IXL.com to lead your school towards data-driven excellence today. The link is in the show notes. And again, I want to thank IXL for sponsoring Education, Leadership, and Beyond. All right. You can click on the link in the show notes there or just Google IXL. It'll bring you to a lot more information about them. So let's get started. The opening concept here, I heard it the other day and I loved it. A checkup from the neck up. I'll say it again. A checkup from the neck up. I'm about to talk to a middle school principal. God bless her. Working in a middle school is difficult enough. When you're the principal, it is an extremely challenging job. And how do we reset? How do we kind of unwind, catch our breath, do those things, right? Where are we mentally? And so I heard Brian Kane say that on Mental Performance Daily. That's a daily podcast I listen to in the morning, Mental Performance Daily. And he talked about a checkup from the neck up. And how can we do that, right? I like to sit quiet. I like to have a pen and paper in front of me. Write some notes of gratitude. Again, quiet. I like to have a cup of coffee early in the morning, sit by myself. Silence, maybe a few affirmations, maybe visualization, right? Seeing myself do that thing I want to do. And then what do I need to do, right? What do I need to schedule? What do I want to get done? What are the things I want to accomplish? Who are the people I want to fill their buckets up that day? Give myself a checkup from the neck up. I went to the doctor today and literally got a physical checkup, and I'm doing pretty good. I'm feel good about that. But always checking in where we are mentally. Take that time early in the morning and do that thing that will help reset you and set you forth to do good things for others. Enough of me talking. Let's bring my friend. She just got done with dismissal, ran in, and she just got back to the office. Amber Parker, welcome to Education, Leadership, and Beyond.
Thank you for having me today.
It's nice to see you. Dismissal, you got in okay. There was no incidents at dismissal.
No issues today. Smooth sailing out of here. So hopefully the old radio will not go off while we're talking. And if it does, maybe somebody else will pick it up for me.
Delegation. You got to
That's right.
delegate for the next 30, 40 minutes. It's good
I told them, I said, I'm going on this podcast, so somebody else better be listening to the radio.
Your people got you.
Yes.
Friends, this is Amber Parker, the principal, Ballard County Bombers. 12 years as principal and 27 years in the district. Is that right, Amber?
That is right. Actually, I've spent my entire educational career either as a student or as a teacher administrator on this campus. So I'm a alma mater of this school and alumni, and so I came back and been here my entire career.
Give a shout out to that. What percentage of your clothes is green? I was so disappointed. I didn't bring my Bombers shirt today.
I have a lot of green in my closet. That is for sure.
Wow.
That is for sure.
Amber, when we met, I was like, wow, this lady's incredible. A couple years ago at KASA, you just have an energy. You have a warmth. You have a smile. Is that something that comes naturally? When you pop out of bed at 6 a.m, are you like that? Are you like that all the time?
I am, and I've always been that way. Some people would say maybe I'm loud, but it's just how I am. And sometimes people will be like, "Why do you talk so loud?" And I'm like, "I'm just excited. I'm passionate about it." And the first time I met you, I was doing brain breaks at KASA. You were the keynote. And I did brain breaks during that session, and I really enjoyed getting to do that. That's really the first time I'd ever had any kind of role with KASA, and I enjoyed it.
And do your people at school, do the kids appreciate that energy? Do your staff, or is it sometimes you get like, "Hey, lady, back up, back up"?
Well, I think with middle school kids, I said you never know. It's like the Forrest Gump. It's like the chocolates. You never know what you're going to get when you walk in here in the mornings. And so I'm really good about, I guess, feeling the energy that's already there. And sometimes you come in and it's automatically, we got to put the brakes on. They can't handle this today. Or sometimes they're dragging, in. And so I've got to get my music going first thing in the morning. But like today, this time we just went through our time change here, and everybody's dragging. And so this morning, it was, let's get fired up. One day last week, they were already up here about our football team making it to the playoffs. And so I just kind of had to get them in check. It just depends. You have to feel the energy every morning. But I do make it a point every day. Of course, my staff is small. My school is 220 students, very rural, far Western Kentucky. And so I only have 10 teachers that are strictly mine. Now I have like 22 altogether that I share with the high school, but I make it a point every morning to go around and make face-to-face contact with my staff. A lot of them have been here as long as I have. And so I can tell a lot by their body language what kind of mood they're in, if they need anything from me. And sometimes I go in there and I can tell they're just not ready, and I'll just take over and send them out a minute, let them go get whatever they need to get done. But I want to put my eyes on every one of my teachers every morning before I get the day going.
Amber, a couple of shout outs, a number of people watching live. Bailey Parker, one of yours, is watching. She's giving you a shout out.
Look at her. Go, Bailey. Go, Bailey.
Amber, in terms of that, right, that's an intentional act. That's something you're doing purposefully as principal. How rigid is your schedule? There's a lot of, like you said, anything can happen in the middle school. How tight are you on your schedule? And when do you know man, I got to change my schedule. This is a crisis versus that could wait. How tight are you?
I've got a really good office crew up front, and most of the time things are pretty easy going in the mornings. I'm either at the front getting kids out of cars, or sometimes I'll switch it up and I'll go to the back and get the kids off of the buses. And so not only is it important for me to just put my face on my teachers, but I also want to see the kids coming in too, because you can tell a lot by a middle school kid just by facial expressions. You can tell if they've had a rough night. You can tell if they got into it with their parents this morning. And so lots of times I can head stuff off before things get really bad. Just I can see one of them be like, whoa, 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 and I can grab them up and we can walk in different directions. Lots of times we can figure things out before things get really bad. But I really like to clear my schedule till 8:30. We start school at 8 o'clock. And that gives me time to see the kids, see the teachers, grab my second or third cup of coffee, depending on wherever we are. And then I can get in here and get going on what other things I need to do. Now, I always tell my front staff, if a parent shows up unannounced, tell them, I'm not going to be available till 8:30. Now, but I also tell them if they look really upset, radio me. Because here's the thing. Small community. I'm from here. I know most everybody knows me. And the last thing I want is a parent that's already escalated to sit up there and get escalated even more because they're having to wait on me. Now, I'll come up here usually and I'll say, hey, let's go back here and I'll explain to them, listen, this is what I really need to do. I really need to get my day started. I'm going to get you a cup of coffee. I'm going to let you sit in here. And as soon as I get the kids to class and the day started, and it's just letting them know, I know you're here, but I've got to take care of this first. Now, if it is a immediate threat or something like that the parent, then of course I'll radio out or text out and let my staff know that I'm having to take care of something a little more important. So, but most of the time things get going pretty smooth here in the mornings. We've got a pretty good routine.
Yeah, love those routines. And I can tell you're communicating. Even, Andrew, I'm popping out to go to busing right now, right? Just for the show, you did that to let me know what you were doing there. Amber, I got to give a shout out. My guy Brad Hughes from Now It's Personal. He makes these great logos. He made these for me. He's watching the show. Branding is one of the things. Oh, by the way, check out Brad's website. Now It's Personal.
I was going to say, I think I have one of yours on my refrigerator over here.
Oh, there you go.
Your magnets. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But your branding at Ballard County, I mean, it was gorgeous. The window clings, really cool. Was that something that you were part of? Was it always that nice looking, or is that something that over the years you've added to it?
Our school, we got a new school. It was in 2006, but it still looks brand new. I mean, we take a lot of pride in it because the other building that we were in was very old. Now, it was my former school and, I loved it, but we had this brand new building. And then a couple of years ago, the whole branding thing went out from the Kentucky School of School Safety. And most all the schools in Kentucky have the window clings where you can't see in, but people can see out. And so I think ours looks really good. I think it just took our building to the next level. So I'm proud of it. It looks great. It really looks good at night. And so we're just really proud of our facilities. I actually wrote every Monday we have a principals meeting with all the principals across the district, and we do gratitude. And I wrote our facilities guy. I said, our campus looks amazing. I mean, we're small and we're all on one campus, but I just told him I appreciated it because anytime something breaks or something tears up, they're right there to fix it. And last week at one of the ball games, one of the other school principals said, you guys have this place looking so good. It's very, very nice. And so I just wanted him to know that we appreciate everything he does for us and takes care of our stuff.
As an outsider coming in there, Amber, I noticed that right away. Certainly a shout out to your superintendent, Casey Allen, your chief academic officer and basketball coach, Kevin Estes,
What
right?
about him taking over the basketball coaching?
How about that? Kentucky, it's in the blood down
I
there.
know.
Gotta have the basketball.
Yeah. So before Kevin came here, he was the girls' basketball coach at Carlisle County, which was our neighboring county. And so years ago, we got to coach against each other. He's got a story about me. He says that I was over on his side, but he was actually over on my side. And so I had to tell him to get back over to where
I'm gonna have to check that tape. We're gonna have to go check the tape on that one. Yeah. Amber, a long time. You've been there a long time. Principal, 12 years. It's a hard job.
Yeah.
How do you continue to stay sharp, stay fresh, and show up with that positive energy? How do you keep doing it?
You know, I really like what I do. And I've been in this position 6 or 7 years. And somebody asked me, said, are you gonna go to the board office next? And I said, and I just don't have any desire to go to the central office job because I got in education for kids. And I really think I would be lost if I wasn't around the kids, And so, every year it's like a different group. Like last year, that they left, and this is a whole different dynamic of kids. And so, I just, we just keep puttering right along. And, it's teachers that I started teaching with, and they're still amazing as they were, 20 years ago. And, I guess we just get better with age, is what they say, So, or maybe we finally got it figured out, or what we think we got figured out anyway.
Is that a reference to the bourbon in Kentucky or the great educators you got down there?
Both.
Yeah. Better with age.
Yeah.
I like it. Speaking of kids, Amber, not only can you tell that you love your kids in your school, you have 4 of your own, and not just 4. You didn't do one at a time. You all 4 at the same time. God bless you. Got quadruplets. How did you literally survive and thrive through that?
Listen, people would always ask me, they're like, and I just wasn't given a choice. I mean, I had 4 children at one time, and you just, it's like Nike, you just do it. But lots and lots of prayers. But we built a house right beside my mom and dad where I grew up. And so my mom and dad were on one side, my aunt was on the other.
Okay.
I had 2 cousins who didn't have any children who took on mine as basically as theirs. And so lots of people from my church. And I have to give a shout out. I have one of the most amazing staff members. Her name is Holly Adams. Her husband is Tim, which is the high school principal.
Oh, yeah.
And when I first brought the kids home, her and the front office secretary came to my house every Thursday night from 6:00 in the afternoon till 6 the next morning. So me and my husband at the time could sleep all night long.
Wow.
And so every Thursday night, and then they got up and come to school the next day.
Wow.
And that's just one of those things that you can't repay somebody for that.
Wow.
But just knowing that I'm going to be able to sleep all night long, and like they've got my kids, and so it was amazing. So and people from my church, and bath time, it was like, an assembly line. Like I would get in the bathtub with my bathing suit on, and they would bring me a kid, and I'd wash them, and I'd hand one off. It was crazy. It was crazy.
So being a middle school principal is easy at times then after dealing with that.
Well, at that time, I was a teacher and had no desire or anything to be a school administrator. And Murray State offered a program trying to get more school leaders. And Dr. Allen recommended me and 2 more. And they came and presented. Of course, my kids were a year old, and they started saying every Monday night from 4:00 to 9:00, you're going to meet at Paducah. And I thought, 4 hours by myself every Monday night. And so it ended up being a 18 months program, and it was a cohort of people, and it was exactly what I needed at the time because I needed adult time because I was in the classroom all day with middle school kids, and then as soon as I got home, I was with infants, and I never had any, and that ended up being a really good experience. And so I finished that program in May, and in June, a job came open, and I was assistant principal and athletic director for 2 years.
Wow.
And Mr. Estes was the principal, so I was his assistant.
Nice. Wow. You can tell you and Kevin are tight.
We are tight.
That's awesome, Amber. And again, your hometown, your home community, beautiful. People think PE is easy, right? And I've been in the middle school gym where it's happening, and you need structure, you need rules, you need safety. There's a lot there. What are some things that you took from your classroom, PE and health, all those years, to then you took to your leadership courses? What were some things that carried through that time, Amber?
One of the biggest things I think helped me was sometimes when you're down in the gym, the administrators don't get down there very much, and I always said, if I am ever I want to check on all of my teachers, and I catch myself doing this, like my language arts teachers, my math teachers, my science teachers, and then my special rotation teachers, and I always try not to leave them out, especially when I'm talking about accountability and things like that, because, they may not necessarily be in an accountability area, but things that they're doing in their classes are keeping kids coming to school, keeping kids in, wanting to come to school. And that, lots of times the PE teacher and the health teacher, that is that student's release, because in middle school, you don't have recess. And so that was one of the biggest things. But, we all have those defining moments in our careers. And one day in the PE classroom, I had a defining moment that actually it changed me. And so this kid had been coming, and he was never dressed out for PE. And I told him, hey, need you to bring some clothes. I need you to make sure you're dressed out. And the third day, I was like, dude, come on now. We got it. And he said, you people don't get it. I don't have any clothes. And I was like, why wouldn't you have clothes? It totally changed me. And so after that, me being a problem solver, I was like, I got to figure this thing out. I can't have this kid not having any clothes. And so that led me down a path of looking into some framework of Ruby Payne's Bridges Out of Poverty. And that was probably one of the first leadership roles that I had. Dr. Allen was my principal at the time. And I told him, I said, I've just really become interested in this work. And I ended up getting trained to be a trainer for Ruby Payne's work, Bridges Out of Poverty. And that next year, I ended up training everybody in our whole district. And so, and that was, like I said, that was a defining moment because, if you have not grown up in poverty, or if I always say this, I hate that my marriage ended and that I got a divorce. But Betty, I can sit in here now and I can talk to that single mother because I know exactly what she's going through. You can't talk about things that you've never really experienced. And so a lot of us had never experienced poverty. And so around that time, our biggest employer in the county, it's a paper mill, and it closed down. And so, we had people, that were really, really struggling. And so that work was on time for us. And it just helped me think of things through a different paradigm and not just the way that I've always seen them. And so it was very eye-opening, and I'm glad I did that work. I'm still interested in that work. I use that a lot in my day-to-day. But that kind of started, I guess, me being a leader at the school, knowing that there was a problem and I needed to try to solve it, and so that's just kind of what I do. If a problem comes up, now I don't always have the answers, and I've got a great team of teachers and guidance counselors. I got to hire a behavior specialist this time, and I mean, we all get together around the table and put our heads together and try to come up with what's best for our kids.
I love it. I love it, Amber. Jennifer Longo is saying that Ruby's work is amazing.
Yes.
If you're watching, let's give Amber a shout out in the chat here. Amber, good for you for telling that story and responding, right?
Yes.
All these events get thrown at us, things get thrown at us, but you responded and did some work for your kids. So beautiful story there. Thank you. Some of the other work you're doing, Amber, outside of Ballard County, you're connected. You're heavily connected with your state organization, KASA. Shout out to their leadership team, Dr. Caldwell, that we become friends. What a great organization. The work they're doing.
Awesome.
Building leaders, they're incredible. Yeah.
They are. And like I said, I started off working with the planning team for the state conference, and that kind of led me to working with you that day. They saw me at one of our planning meetings. They were like, we've got to get you on stage with Mr. Murata. And I was like, okay, what do you want me to do? So my thing was the brain breaks. And when I'm passionate about something, I'm really passionate about it. And so they were like, well, you can do, get on stage, do some brain breaks. And so that led to me meeting you, which helped in getting you to our school. And if you guys have not had Mr. Murata at your school, hey, you're missing out. You're missing out. My staff was pretty pumped that I was doing this podcast with him today. He came and it was exactly what we needed coming off of COVID. And so if you haven't had him, you need to get him in your school. And then that working on that little project, I became a mentor in the women's organization through KSA. And then this last year, I got to be the co-chair of the committee, which was, listen, that experience has given me a newfound respect for Dr. Caldwell. I love her. I think she's an amazing leader. But just working side by side with her during this conference, like, I don't know how she keeps it all straight. And she's got her hands in so many things, and she's good at all of them. And so I just appreciate her leadership and giving me the opportunity. And so every year at the conference, we pick a charity. And Ronald McDonald House is very near and dear to my heart for one of my own children. And so that's the charity that we chose. And she asked us what we wanted to set our goal for. And you know me, I'm all into this cutesy kind of stuff. I said, oh, it's the year 2024. Let's raise $24,000. And she was like, Amber, KSA's never raised more than $9,000. I said, well, we're going to this year. And so we ended up raising $25,000.
Oh my God.
Yes. And so it was amazing. And it really, I'm so excited that we raised the money, but it was the thing. Dr. Caldwell's vision was, to get the whole state involved. And so that's pretty much what we did. And my school did a challenge. We did a color run, and 120 of my students challenged all the other 120 counties in the state to match their $100 that they raised. And then Sarah Hatton was the co-chair, and she got some things going at her school, and also challenged some other student or other schools in their co-op. And so Sarah and I had a great time with it. And so when the totals come in, I just couldn't believe it. But this was so funny. So I told them my daughters would come and work because they're as passionate about Ronald McDonald as I am. And so they had the Parker girls working registration. And after they would register, they had to go by the Parker girls, and they asked them, would you like to make a donation to Ronald McDonald? And if they said no, well, let me just tell you, this one right here, she'd say, well, why not? And so anyway, they got to tell, the personal story. And when you have those heart connections and those heart stories, I mean, so they ended up, Kathy Fields and another lady, they ended up naming the girls junior ambassadors, and they want them to come back next year. And so I wish I'd have taken them with me to KSA years ago, because they absolutely loved it.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
the women leadership program,
Yes.
that's only going to
Yes.
help them and grow.
Yes.
And, those are skills you just can't teach people.
So I just appreciate Dr. Caldwell, and Dr. Kathy Fields giving me, seeing something in me and letting me loose, because Dr. Caldwell doesn't let much loose, and sometimes she'll have to rein us back in. But I just appreciate her believing in me and giving me those opportunities.
I love it. 24,000. I didn't realize that, Amber. That's incredible.
Yes, and I have to give a shout out.
Go ahead.
My school, $10,000 of the 24,000.
Wow.
And my co-chair, Sarah, her school had 5,000 of that. So we're hoping that the group that's coming in behind us, it's a fantastic group of leaders, and we told them we'd help them with the fundraiser, but just really making that connection across the state. And it's not just Paducah, and it's not just Pikeville, and it's not just Louisville. It's all of us together, because Ronald McDonald House, it's for all of our kids. It's not for just to start, it's for everybody's kids.
Wow.
So.
That's awesome. And again, a shout out to KASA. That's great stuff. I love it. Amber, we don't have a ton of time left. I'm sorry that I have a hard stop here. But I know one of the things you love, right? You love to be able to get to the beach. The beach is a calming, stress-releasing place for
Yes.
you. What is that? Has that been your whole life? Has it been recently that you found, I can tell when you're excited to be going to the beach.
Yes.
Tell me about going to the beach with your mom and your family.
The beach is my jam. Like, you're not going to see me going on a vacation out west. Can you imagine those quadruplets out west? No. I'm going to the beach, and I'm going to get my feet in that water, and I'm going to sit in my chair, and I'm going to read my book. And I'm going to be out there from 10 o'clock in the morning till the sun goes down. I don't care anything about going out to eat. I don't care anything about shopping. I just need to sit in that chair on that beach. And it's my favorite.
Sounds like a country song to me.
That's right. And my girls, I've trained them. And so, like, they're little mini me's, like, they're in their chairs. They got their books, and they know that that's what we're going to do. They know.
They're little mini-me's, that's for sure. Their accent's thicker than yours.
I know.
Yeah. I needed a translator when I was down there. Well, a shout out to your staff, man. They were awesome. You had those ladies. They did my daughter's hair down there. We had.
And your Miss Murata's daughter. She's amazing too. I got to spend some time with her, and she's a little rock star too.
You and her, we hit it off pretty good.
We did.
Amber, anything you wanted to share that I didn't ask you?
No, I don't think so.
You're making it happen down there. Your energy is contagious. Your smile, the warmth there. I mean, I felt like I was coming into your home when I came there, and the way you showed me around. And again, there was a comfort level. There was an authenticity. It was just, it was amazing to see your leadership in action.
Well, and and that's Dr. Allen, that's what he wants. And he sets that tone, for us at the district level. And he really gives us the freedom to lead the way we want to. And my leadership style is probably different. I know it's different than Mr. Adams, but it works for him. It works for me. And that's what I like about Dr. Allen, is he's never put a lid on us and said, hey, he gives us free reign to run our buildings like we see fit. And as long as we're getting results, then he's okay with that.
I love it. He just jumped in the chat saying, hello, Dr. Allen. You got
Hey, Dr. Allen.
People here running the show, you and Kevin, and a lot of shout outs there. So very cool. Amber, let's get to rapid fire. These are quick answers. First thing that pops into your head. Are you ready?
Ready.
She's ready. She's a middle school principal. Of course.
That's right. I'm always ready.
Last book you read?
It Ends With Us.
Nice. Last movie you saw?
It Ends With Us.
Last concert you went to? It ends with us.
It ended with the Quadruplets. I can't afford to go to any concerts. I would love to go to Taylor Swift, but that's not going to happen with Quadruplets.
We know the beach is your favorite place to travel. How about your karaoke song? If you want to sing karaoke, what you singing?
Dancing Queen.
I can believe that. Kentucky is fill in the blank.
In the Mark Pope era.
Ooh, she's going. People are wearing the Pope hats at the
That's
game.
right.
Yeah. If you weren't in education, what field would you be in?
I would like to be a keynote speaker or pharmaceutical sales, because I feel like I could influence people enough to purchase. And really, I might end up being a TikTok influencer, maybe one of these days if I ever retire. Like, I don't know. I just, like, if I'm passionate about something, I can make it happen. I mean, $24,000 for Ronald McDonald House, I'm telling you.
Man. And that energy is contagious. People say educators aren't in sales. We are in sales. We're selling education. We're selling spirit. We're selling belief in what we're doing in the buildings, for sure. And
that's why I tell my teachers, like, every morning your face, you're selling what I said. So you got to check it at the door. You may have had a really bad morning, but you got to check it at your door.
One thing you're curious about. You can take a pass.
Yeah, give me another question. I don't know that I'm
at 8 a.m. on Saturday morning. I feel fill in the blank.
I feel great because I'm asleep. I'm getting my sleep in from the week, and I'm getting ready to watch SEC game day, either football or basketball. That's what I do on Saturdays. That is my let's get it in check. Like most people know, if I'm not at a school event on Saturday, I am watching SEC football or SEC basketball.
They come on at 11 a.m. down there,
yes,
right?
Sir. Yes, sir.
That's hot.
And it's an all day long. Like that's what I do all day.
You're an open book, but is there something about Amber Parker that people don't know about?
People probably know everything about me. I don't think there's anything people probably wouldn't know.
It's out there. She's out there.
Yeah.
Amber, how about a quote? You have a quote that you could end the show with?
Every day, I do announcements either on Google Meet or on the intercom. And I leave this with my kids every day because this is one thing that drives me nuts. Mean people. I don't like people being mean, talking about people. And so I tell them every day, in a world where you can be anything, be kind. Because you just don't know what other people are up against. But I say it every single day. And over fall break, a kid obviously listens to me because he was in Gatlinburg, found it on a coffee cup, and he brought it back to me.
I hope he got a free cookie or something from the cafeteria. Yeah. Wow. Friends, this is Amber Parker, Ballard County Bombers, Ballard County Middle School. Amber, awesome job. I appreciate you squeezing me in.
Thank you.
I've only been trying to get you on the show about 2.5 years.
And you know what? This morning I was looking at Facebook memories. Kevin Estes was on there 2 years ago today.
Are you serious?
I swear I almost texted both of y'all, and I thought, well, that's crazy.
I think I asked you to come on the show before Kevin, so that's how long it's been for me.
I know.
Hey, you're a busy lady, though. You're busy.
That's right. That's right.
I'm teasing you. Amber Parker, friends. Amber, I admire you. Keep up the great work. Ballard County's lucky to have you.
Thank you, sir.
All
Come
right.
see us again.
You stay on the line a second. We're going to sign off here on the podcast. Thanks for everyone who's in the chat there. If you're watching this on record, certainly leave Amber a comment and a shout out for the work she's doing. And a shout out to your staff, Amber. It's a great place.
They're awesome.
Yeah. Keep surviving and thriving, friends. We're going to sign off here on Education, Leadership, and Beyond.